Hey everybody, this is Callie. Thanks so much for being here with me. I'm sharing a really fun card today using some Hero Arts products. This peeking snowman really piqued my interest when I saw it. And I also love the foliage from this winter foliage set. So we're going to be combining the two to create this fun peekaboo card. So I have everything die cut here off camera just to speed things up a little bit. I have all of the foliage stems die cut and my two snowmen die cut in pattern paper as well as white cardstock so that I can color the snowman with Copic markers using some light BG markers, and then the second one using pattern paper so I can cut apart the scarf as well as the mittens so that I can piece this together. So they are held together just by a little bit of cardstock, so it doesn't take much at all to snip them apart. And then once I've snipped them apart, I'm going to use a waffle flower grip mat here to hold down that cardstock so that I can ink blend. As you can see, this grip mat is well loved. It's been used a few times, and yes, it does stain, but that doesn't affect how well it holds the paper down. So once I've ink blended these, I can go ahead and remove them, wipe off the mat, and then ink blend any other pieces that I have. So I have all of these foliage stems to ink blend, and I'm going to use 3 different colors of green. This pine one here uses the pine ink for 2 of the different stems, and then I'll use field ink on these holly branches. And then last but not least, I'll use Aegean ink, I hope I'm saying that right, on the, I'm going to call those mistletoe branches because they have rounded ends. I think that's right. Anyway, I get all of these ink blended, and then I have one little carrot to do for the nose, and then we'll be done ink blending. And then we can go ahead and start piecing everything together, which for me is always the funnest part. If you have a stamp and stencil mat, that will work too. I just like to save those for stencils more because I don't like to get ink on my stamp and stencil mat. So the grip mat is great for that. It can get stained and I can use it over and over. Don't need to worry about ruining it. Now to piece the snowman together, I die cut the hat twice, once in red for the band on the hat and once in black. So I pieced those together after trimming off that band on the hat, and now I'm going to glue the mittens on this peeking snowman. If you don't want to do this piecing, you can always color the scarf and those mittens with Copic markers or ink blend them however you like. You'll just have to do a little bit of masking. Then I'll attach his nose. And then finally the little hat here. And as you can see, there's also some indentations there for his eyes. I decided instead of coloring those with a Copic marker, I'm going to use these fun pearls from Pretty Pink Posh because it's going to add lots of dimension and a little bit of shine for his eyes. I also set out some little red ones for the berries on the holly that I attached to his hat. So just a little dab of glue and then those little pearls, and then that gives our snowman lots of interest. And here's a close-up look at this cute, adorable snowman. I almost wish that I had remembered to put some blush on his cheeks, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the backgrounds first because when I go to apply the foliage, I want to make sure there's enough room for everything. So I use these Simon Says Stamp stitched rectangles to die cut a white frame, and then I want a matted background with a pink frame, so I am going to stamp the Jingle Bell script from Hero Arts onto some light pink cardstock, and that's going to be a cute tone-on-tone look. And then I use the same ink color to kind of ink blend around in random areas around this panel just to kind of like give it a distressed look a little bit. And then I'll use the larger stitched rectangle die to make the frames a little bit more cohesive with the stitching detail. I'm going to go ahead and layer up these panels here and attach this pink piece to a card base. And then I'll attach the white layer as well, and then we have our card panel ready to go to make our scene. Now for some fun, I want to add some snow frothing technique to all of these little branches. This is going to create lots of dimension and give our leaves and foliage lots of texture. So what I'm doing is I'm using some glossy accents and adding them where I want snow to be. And then I'm going to use Hero Arts white puff powder to apply to that wet glossy accent, and then I'm going to heat set that. It's going to make the embossing powder puff up, but it's also going to dry the glossy accents and make the glossy accents puff up as well. If you don't have white puff powder, white embossing powder will also work for this. As you can see, it provides it lots of texture and it has a really organic look to it because that embossing powder is going to cling in areas where the glossy accents is, and it's not perfect. So I feel like it gives it a really natural look. Now moving on to creating our scene, as you can see, I am just laying down all of my foliage and making sure that there's room for the snowman to lay over that and hide all the ends of the stems. I did purposely apply the holly stems last because I knew I wanted to add dimension to them with these berries. So I'm using those pretty pink posh cherry pearls again, and I'm just filling all of those spots on those holly stems where there were meant to be berries. Then to give my snowman a little bit more interest, I use a Sakura Jelly Roll pen to add a few gel highlights over him. Last but not least, I prepared a sentiment from the Winter Foliage stamp set, and I fussy cut around the letters, and I'm just attaching that to my card. And that finishes my project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in the products that I use, be sure to check out the links below where everything will be linked for your convenience. Thank you so much for stopping by and have a wonderful day. Bye everyone.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.